My wetsuit, goggles, my fins, everything I need. You know, many of you don't know, but I actually do have a scuba diving license. So I'm gonna go in the water because I've got all the gear I need.
Now, one more thing, Steve.
Oh, what's this?
This is your shark deterrent.
There are sharks in the water?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I won't go in the water today. If it isn't already obvious, I'm out at sea in search of abalone. See what we got.
Oh, it's got a good bag.
Oh, whoa!
Oh, there's probably 20 kilo in there.
Oh, wow! This is the stuff. Look at this guy. That's as fresh as it gets. Whether it's on a restaurant table or inside a can, abalone has always come at a price. Why is it so expensive? So, what is abalone? Well, actually, it's a sea snail. A species that can live for as long as 30 to 40 years. The older they are, the bigger they get. But they usually are harvested when their shells reach about 13 to 15 centimeters in length. We don't eat the entire body though. The part that we usually eat, the muscular foot, and the fringe, a frilly ruffle extending from the foot. How expensive does abalone get in Singapore? Here in a typical supermarket, prices range from around $8 to $10. And then you have these under lock and key where prices can vary between $50 to $60 for just one can. And I know in other supermarkets it can go up to even $100. So why do prices vary so much? This is New Moon Storage Facility. The company was one of the first to import abalone into Singapore back in 1959. So all this here, these few rows are abalone.
Yes, all the abalones, different countries, different types. Wild one from Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and then the farm one you have from China, Australia, South Africa also.
So what is the difference between the wild and the farmed abalone?
Okay, for the wild, most important is that there is a free dive. The fishermen will go down to the sea and catch it. The farm is inland, so it's totally different.
Oh, so this one, the diver has to go into the sea and pick it up from the ground.
Free dive.
This one, basically, it could be a pond or something.
Yes, inland or maybe grow inside the sea. But it's different. It's caged.
I see,
the farm.
I see. What about the prices? Is one a lot more expensive than the other?
Definitely. So the wild, normally this price for the Mexico is about $160.
Okay.
And then for the Australia, it's about $50.
Okay.
New Zealand is about $40.
Oh, why such a big price difference between the different countries?
Because of the demand and the quota itself. Quota, there's a limit in what you can catch. And the demand is also different. Depend on the number of customers they need this product. But the limit of the wild abalone quota is the one that determines the price.
The wild abalone quota is a government-imposed limit on how much wild abalone a licensed quota holder can harvest each year.
The farm one you have from China, Australia, South Africa.
What are the prices like?
So the farm one, you look at Australia and South Africa, they are about $30.
Okay.
The China one is about $13 to $15.
Okay, I'm no connoisseur, but will I be able to tell the difference between a farmed and wild abalone if I eat it?
We have a kitchen upstairs. Let's go and take a look.
Okay, let's go.
Steve, you see, there are wild abalone and farm abalone. Try it and then you tell us how do you feel about the taste.
Okay. Smells seafoodish. Quite easy to eat. Yeah, not too chewy. Not too strong the flavor. I'll try this one now. Smells about the same. Wow. I have to work harder.
Okay.
I have to chew a lot more.
Okay.
The texture
More chewy?
more chewy. It's a bigger piece, it's a bit tougher. Oh, the smells of it, a bit different. Wow, so tender, so easy to eat. And the flavor is a bit different too. Yeah, it tastes more like I'm at sea. The farm one, to me, was softer and milder in flavor. Still tender, but lacking that deep oceanic richness. While the wild ones were firmer, meatier, and had a briny intensity that lingered, almost like tasting the sea itself. I noticed that there was both wild and farm from Australia. Does Australia have a huge market for abalone?
Not for the domestic market, for the world market, for
Oh,
wild.
for wild,
For
oh.
wild abalone.
Australia accounts for 30% of the global wild-caught abalone production, making it the world's second largest exporter of wild-caught abalone. Abalone, as I now know, comes in various forms and price points. But wild abalone is the most expensive of the lot because it's the hardest to source. But just how hard? I'm heading straight to the source to find out. Tasmania sits about 420 kilometers south of Melbourne, and it's the largest wild abalone harvester with over 25% of the world's wild abalone supply from here. It's almost June, which means winter is settling in this part of the world. It also marks the tail end of the abalone harvesting season here. My journey here begins with Barry Bennett, an abalone diver who has been navigating these waters for decades. Joining us is Bo Lesser, also an abalone diver. He'll be our eyes underwater today as we uncover what it truly takes to harvest wild abalone. We've got everything we need.
Yeah, our rest of our wetsuit here, our top, our flippers,
Okay,
mask,
yeah, got to see.
yep, see, our hoses obviously.
And then no oxygen tanks. You
No, we have a compressor on the back here.
Okay, let's go.
If you slow down a little bit, Barry, yeah. That's yeah, bull kelp.
Seaweed, right?
Yeah, bull kelp, that's what the abalone eat.
So that's good, right? That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, that's abalone's main
Yeah, food source,
food.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's where all the nutrients and all the good
Is
stuff
that an
comes from.
indicator of where there might be...
Absolutely, they live
Okay.
in amongst the bull kelp. Yeah.
So how do we know exactly where to go to find the wild abalone?
Abalone love the white water. See where it's where the waves break,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of oxygen, and yeah, they love living under that.
Other than spotting bull kelp, divers rely on a strong sense of local knowledge built up over years of experience to form a mental map of abalone hotspots in the area. So this is the spot we're going to be diving at today.
Yeah.
And how deep will you have to go?
It's about 10, 12 metres here, and then shallow up as we get closer to the reef.
All right, all the best.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit. Divers like Barry and Bo use a hookah system. It's a boat-based compressor that feeds air through a hose, letting them stay underwater for hours, unlike a regular diving cylinder that only lasts about 45 to 60 minutes. Underwater, Barry crawls along the reef, scanning the rocks for abalone. Once he spots a healthy adult abalone, he uses a flat metal iron to pry it off.
How do you know when they've got a basket ready to come up?
Well, usually he blows off a heap of air down there, so you can tell that he's got a full bag.
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of bubbles.
Do you want to pull it up?
Yep. How do I know when to pull it?
So they'll tug on it.
Okay.
So hold on to that, and you'll feel them tug on it when you're
Okay.
there.
Oh yeah, I felt a tug.
Righty, pull her
Okay,
up.
so let's pull it up.
So they'll have air in the bag, so that's making it float up to the top.
Oh, it's getting heavy. There we go. Let's see what we got.
Oh, it's got a good bag.
Oh, whoa. Ah,
Jeez, I wasn't expecting that.
man. Woo. So now we put them
So
in
we're
here.
right. We've got a 20 kilo bag there, so we just put them in the bins.
And what do you do next? You have to check
So,
these here?
Yep. So see how it touches
Ah,
there? So it's got
okay.
to touch or it's undersized.
if
And
it's
you
too
can
small-
leave them on as long as they're solid.
Okay.
See, that's the size.
If it's too small,
Chuck it back over.
chuck it back in.
Here in Australia, divers like Barry and Bo face strict government regulations, in the form of a commercial license with a fixed annual quota. Only mature wild abalone, typically between 13 to 15 centimeters, can be harvested. These strict limits are vital because abalone grow and reproduce slowly, making them highly vulnerable to overfishing.
Is this considered a good day?
At this catch rate, that's actually quite a good day. So basically, we get paid a dive fee to catch them, which is our $500. So we get paid, we've made some money.
Okay.
The owner of the quota that owns the rights to the fishing rights,
Yeah.
they would make another 30 or 40%.
Okay.
Then a processor makes, who buys the abalone and resells it on, would make an additional, 10% or whatever.
Okay. So if I took one of these now from you, I could pay you, what, 40, 50 bucks just for one of them? Right, that's cost price.
Cost price, yeah.
But when I finally get it on the plate in the restaurant, it could be, what, 10 times more? 5 times more?
10 times more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys brave shark-infested waters and spend hours out at sea diving for their catch. But as I've just discovered, the bulk of what you pay for when buying abalone isn't just because of divers like Barry and Bo.
So what is the price of one of these boxes?
Landing price, so $840 Australian per box.
Fresh wild abalone hauled up from the reefs must be sent to a processing facility like this, almost immediately, to maintain its freshness before it gets shipped off and sold to buyers and restaurants locally and internationally.
Adrian.
Hi Steve,
Wow. Nice to meet you.
likewise.
This is your place.
Fundamentally, it's a holding facility for abalone that's come in from the divers,
Okay.
and we treat it more as a hotel for abalone before they get a free business class trip overseas.
What's in these tanks?
This is our recirculating salt water. We have 9 systems in the building, and minimum holding time in this facility is 5 days. They get a little bit stressed when they're caught by the
Okay.
diver, so we have to de-stress them, slow their metabolic rate down, pretty much put them to sleep.
Right.
So that when they go in the box for 24 to 36 hours, they come out the other end live and in a good condition.
What's happening here?
These have been selected to be packed for export today. And perhaps, Steve, you might like to have a go.
All right. Just grab it on the side. Oh, I didn't want to hurt the guy. Okay. And he's still moving around, and we put them. Wow, they stick.
Yeah,
That's
that
quite
means they're strong.
Oh, they're strong.
You'll find, Steve, if you
Yep.
hit them quicker, they'll come off easier, like that, okay?
Okay.
So nice and quick, that's it.
What happens next?
So they're weighed and then they go into the packing room.
Okay.
So this is where the abalone are graded for size, normally small, medium and large.
There are quite a few steps involved. Does this all add up and make it more expensive to sell?
Well, even though the animal's in the same condition it came out of the sea, but the premium value-added process is to deliver it live and in good condition. These are now on the ready to go to Hobart Airport. This particular consignment is going to China.
So what is the price of one of these boxes?
12 kilos, roughly $70 per kilo.
70 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Landing price, so $840 Australian per box.
And that includes the cost of shipping, everything in.
Purchase of the product, the cost of holding them here, our standing costs like power and staff labour.
Okay.
The biggest item, apart from purchase of the abalone, is the freight.
Earlier, I was told that an abalone fresh off the reef costs roughly 40 to 50 Australian dollars per kilo. Processors like Adrian will charge about 70 Australian dollars per kilo, a jump of about 40 to 75%. I can see why, considering the skilled labour involved, the specialised equipment, and all the operational costs needed to keep the abalone alive and perfectly fresh as it moves to its final destination. While Australian abalone is a prized commodity, and when something's worth that much, not everyone plays by the rules.
280 abalone allegedly snatched off Phillip Island.
I'm talking about poachers. In April 2025, 2 men were caught for poaching 280 abalones off Phillip Island in the state of Victoria. Their loot was more than 50 times the legal limit. Earlier in January, another 4 men were caught with over 1,000 black-lip abalone in one of Australia's largest illegal hauls of the decade. Their catch was worth about 17,000 Australian dollars on the black market. Josh Cahill has been at the front line of protecting Australia's abalone industry.
Wow, check out the view.
Yeah, beautiful location here at St Paul's Beach in Sorrento on the Wellington Peninsula, where there were in fact some abalone poachers who were caught here recently.
Oh really? Right here?
Yeah, in this bay here a few months ago.
And how bad is poaching? How big of a problem is it?
Abalone poaching is one of those things that it's really hard to know often when it is occurring. It's happening under the cover of darkness.
Of course.
Really.
Is it bad enough to affect the industry?
There are areas after they have been poached that do take more time to recover. They'll take anything that they can find, from small abalone right through to large fish, and that does have an impact on the recruitment into the fishery in subsequent years.
How organised are these poachers?
There are definitely syndicates that are involved in illegal fishing, but there are also people that are just opportunistic in nature who will see an area that is illegal, but if they think they can get away with it, they will try.
So why is poaching still an issue?
If restaurants are willing to purchase a product, then there is going to be demand, and the poachers are taking advantage of that and selling by undercutting the price and selling to restaurants who maybe looking to save a little bit of money by sourcing a product a little bit cheaper than they may from a legitimate operator, just so that it expands their profit margins a little bit too. And if there's a demand, people will exploit that.
Poaching doesn't just break the rules, it distorts the entire market. Illegal abalone is often sold cheaper on the black market, undercutting licensed divers and driving prices down for the legal trade. But the long-term damage could be worse. Poaching targets juvenile stocks, threatening future supply. That instability can push prices up or collapse the market altogether. And as I'm about to find out, something else is disrupting the supply of wild abalone.
Hey, John.
Hey,
nice
Steve.
to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Nice to
That's
meet
nice
you.
of you.
Yeah, so Steve, this is what I want to show you. This is one of the major threats to the abalone industry.
Sea urchin, am I right?
Yeah, correct. The long spine sea urchin.
And why is that a problem for wild abalone?
They eat all the abalone habitats. They eat the kelps and the seaweeds. No kelp, no food for the abalone.
Oh, and is that resulting in a dwindling supply of what the abalone can't grow?
Yeah,
right?
on the east coast of Tasmania, yes. Yes, so we've lost 15% of our habitats.
Wow.
That means marine heat waves is also a large threat.
What's that?
So a marine heat wave is where we have elevated water temperature above the normal, generally 2 or more degrees for an extended period of time. And where we've had these heat wave conditions around Tasmania, we see abalone get stressed, they become weak, and there's been a couple of heat wave events where there's actually abalone have died. It's climate change. Heat wave conditions, they're becoming more and more common through time. But there's also a virus, a disease that impacts the abalone, and where we've had outbreaks of that disease in Victoria and South Australia, over 95% of that population has been lost.
Wow.
So it's in eastern South Australia, and they're trying to put measures in place so it doesn't spread throughout the entire industry.
So would you say the wild abalone population is in crisis?
Well, it's definitely under threat, and we've had to put in some severe management actions to try to avert that crisis. So abalone quotas have been reduced dramatically in recent decades to combat that.
So all these challenges that you spoke about, is it going to have an impact on wild abalone commercially?
Potentially, yes. If we don't control these threats, the population of abalone are going to go down, so there's going to be less supply to the market.
Right.
Supply and demand, less supply, higher prices.
Illegal poaching, warming oceans, deadly diseases, and even sea urchins destroying their habitats. These pressures are threatening wild abalone populations, not just in Australia, but around the world. From South Africa to North America and across Asia, many abalone species are now considered endangered or in decline. And with wild stocks under this kind of pressure, global supply is at risk. The solution? This.
If I'm a customer and I come to you and say, my customers like this flavor, this texture, you can make that.
100% we can.
I discovered the world of Australia's wild abalone,
This is the stuff. Look at this guy.
which can cost anywhere from 60 to 80 Singapore dollars a piece. But a farmed one? It's often less than half the price. Today, farm abalone is shaking up the global market, making up over 95% of the global supply. And here in Australia, the farm sector has grown rapidly over the past decade. I want to know how much of a game changer farmed abalone is going to be in tackling a potential wild abalone crisis.
Oh, here we are. So my producer has told me he's hired me out for the day to work here at this abalone farm. I have no idea what's in store. Joel!
Good morning, Steve.
You're the man
Welcome.
to meet, thank you.
You ready to get to work?
I think so.
Let's go get your
Yeah,
kit
okay,
up and
let's
we'll get
go.
into it. We've got a busy day. Here's your gear, Steve.
Okay. Never won one of these. Okay, are we good?
Rightio, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Steve, come and have a look. This is the hatchery.
The hatchery.
Hatchery.
Oh.
So this is our larvae room. So essentially what happens is we select the abalone that we want to spawn, that we want to breed from, and then we induce them to spawn. The males will spawn first, their sperm will be swimming around, then the females will start to broadcast her eggs.
Do you play nice music? Turn down the lights?
Barry White.
Okay.
Yep.
And then from here?
From here, so after a week of living in here, we take them out and we put them onto our nursery sheets. Shall we go and have a look?
Let's go.
This is the nursery. So when the larvae come out from the hatchery, they set on these sheets. So you can see them here, Steve. You can see the little babies.
Oh yeah.
So these guys were spawned in November.
So they're about 6 months old?
We culture algae onto these sheets, and when the larvae come out, that's where they'll set, and then they'll never swim again. So the larvae will set, and then they become a snail. In the next couple of weeks, these are coming out. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so after 6 months, they're ready to move on to the next stage.
Correct. So then they come up to this section, we call it A block.
Okay.
So these guys are 18 months old.
Oh, this guy's active.
Yeah.
What's going on?
If you put them upside down in the tanks, they'll actually turn themselves over. From here, they go out into the grow-out tanks, and that's where we harvest, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to get to work, Steve.
Yeah, okay. Guys back in.
Through selective breeding, farms have boosted abalone growth rates by up to 30% over 3 generations, effectively shortening the production cycle by more than a year. That means farmed abalone can be harvested in around 3 years, compared to the 7 to 8 years it takes in the wild, where they are bound by strict size limits.
So with your chipper, see how there's 2 lines at the top?
Yep.
You've got to get any abalone that's over that middle line. I'll show you. We'll start down here. So we're looking for the bigger abalone like that.
Okay.
That are up to that line.
I see. Okay, so this is big enough.
So he's on his way to Hong Kong, that one.
So why did you decide on farmed abalone and not the wild abalone?
Well, the farmed abalone is very sustainable.
Yeah.
So the wild abalone is a limited resource, and overfishing can really affect that resource.
Okay.
You know, we're in a very controlled environment, so we're essentially bringing the ocean to the land, so we can really nurture these abalone and look after them and harvest them right when they're ready, you know.
And I guess just by sheer numbers, I mean, look at the number of tanks here.
100%. So on this farm here at the present moment, we've got around 3 million abalone. So
wow.
So it's a lot, and the product that we're growing is as good as, or if not better than the wild.
Is that just your take on it?
Well, I'm obviously biased, Steve, but you know, they're younger, they're more tender, they're sweeter. Restaurant trade love them because they know exactly the same size week in, week out. We harvest every day, where the wild guys are really limited to, you know, what they can get in the water. They're limited by the weather.
So if it's so much better in that sense, then how is it that they're still cheaper than the wild guys?
The reason for that is because the wild is so limited. They've been so overfished. It's supply and demand, and that resource is really decreasing. So farmed abalone production's increasing, wild harvesting's decreasing. So there's less wild fish on the market than what there is farm fish.
You know, climate change is quite a big deal, and I've heard about things like marine heat wave. In here, you don't have any of those problems.
Yeah, we're certainly not naive to what's going on with our, you know, with our water temperatures. But through our selective breeding program, we're actually selecting those fish that can actually tolerate that warmer water.
Right.
So as our water slowly warms up, we're hoping that we can stay ahead of that curve by farming fish that actually thrive or do better in the water warmer. Also, we can select a trait that we're looking for.
So in a way, if I'm a customer and I come to you and say, my customers like this flavor, this texture, you can make that?
100% we can, but it's not like a chicken. We can't do it overnight.
Yeah.
Abalone are very slow growing, so they don't reach sexual maturity for 2 years.
Oh.
So those genetic gains take time.
Okay. So you're saying these guys taste just as good as the wild abalone. You want to prove it to me?
Yeah. Let's find the biggest one you can and we'll go and cook it up.
Okay, I can choose my meal. Oh, where are you, buddy? Oh yeah, that's all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go. Here's the abalone that you've brought over from the tank.
Yeah?
We just break that muscle on the back.
Right.
So we'll just chop that little bit. Do you want to try?
Yeah? Okay.
Bon appetit.
Crunchy.
A little bit crunchy, but nice and you get that taste of the sea, don't you?
I do. Yeah. You can definitely taste the seawater. The smell's good. Oh, yum. Do you think there will come a time when people will say, hey, let's just switch to the farm abalone?
I think people already are, Steve.
Yeah.
The production coming out of the wild is reducing every year on year. So people need an alternative, and here it is.
Okay.
Compared to what I saw out at sea, this place feels so clinical. No waves, no quarters, no danger. Just tanks, filters, and temperature gauges. But it's stable, controlled, and the price point doesn't cost the earth. In fact, it's probably the cheapest alternative. But as I'm about to find out, there is an even more exclusive and expensive version of abalone.
This one would have been 30 to 40 years old.
So I found a shop selling seafood, oysters, and looky here, abalone too. Candy abalone. This guy here, $61.43. Walking around the shop and this has caught my eye. Gotta see this. It is more abalone. In fact, they've got all the dried varieties there on the shelf. Age starting from 1,320 per kg. Another one's at 3,640 per kg. What you're seeing is dried or aged abalone. They cost at least 10 to 20 times more than wild fresh varieties. Mark Daff runs one of the few dried abalone factories in Australia. He's going to clue me in on what goes behind the exorbitant prices of dried wild abalone.
The dried abalone has to be good quality live fish to start with. So we're going to show you some
When
of those.
you say good quality, it just means it's fresh?
Strong and healthy. A couple here.
Oh, that's two in there.
Yes, he's pretty backing it.
And there are different types of abalone. This is the green lip.
Yeah, so this is the green lip one. It's more scarce.
And when it comes to drying abalone, is there a certain variety that is preferred?
We've done scientific studies, which we did in Japan, but the green lip has more glutens, more sugar levels in it. So when it's dried, it has a thing called tom sum, which is a sweet centre in the middle of it. When it's dried, it's got a more intense flavour.
Okay, so these guys end up tasting better. That's what you mean.
Yeah, we'll put him back in here.
So from here, how do you dry them?
Okay, let's go into the production area. So in here, we come in, we would split the meat out, separate the meat from the shell.
So take it out from the shell, basically.
Yeah, and the gut stays there.
And that's
in
done
the
by
shell.
hand,
Yes.
one by one?
Yes, it has to be.
Okay.
Has to be checked, make sure it's alive before we start.
Right.
Nice and strong, good colour, for dry
okay,
especially. And no nicks from the diver either. So then we'll bring him into here.
Oh, what's
and
this?
This is a big washing machine. This is called a rumbler. It takes the green pigment off the abalone. So it's just all white meat.
Oh, okay.
After that's done, it's put into a salt brine, and 2 days later, it's cooked in some of these cookers. We take it out, and then we have to let it cool and air it.
I can use some air.
So come in here, this is our airing room. We've got a new batch over here. We can naturally dry this, but we also control it with air conditioners in case it's wet days.
Okay, so you're saying naturally, as in you just put it out here and
Leave it to dry for what? How long?
Up to 100 days minimum.
100 days. Okay.
Yeah. So we must do that naturally, and that way you get the best shape and natural. Traditional ways of drying has always been this way.
And I imagine it gets smaller and smaller
Yes.
because it just dries out.
As the
right?
water comes out. Yeah.
Right.
Then it will be stored. Once it's dried totally, it will probably be 3 to 4 months before we sell it. It'll darken nice in a nice coffee colour.
How long can you keep it dried?
Oh, 10, 20 years. Okay, over here. So we've got some of the end product. Smells beautiful. Totally dry.
Yeah, rock solid. Yeah. So now my question is, you've got this whole range, and I see the prices below, ranging from 110 all the way to 500
Yep.
for 100 grams. So I'm curious, why is dried abalone so much more expensive than the fresh abalone?
The fresh stuff has got a lot of water in it, so it's a lot of water weight in it as well.
okay,
You got
okay.
100% just dried abalone. Yeah.
It's pure abalone in the sense that it's really just abalone without the water, without anything else.
Yeah.
Does the processing also add to the cost?
Yes, it does take quite a lot of time, but that's labour and that's expertise as well.
To make just 1 kilogram of dried abalone, you need around 10 kilograms of fresh ones. Each piece is carefully cleaned, cooked and dried again and again. The process can take more than 90 days, often done by hand, with temperature and humidity monitored every step of the way. And because it starts with the best wild abalone, the drying process only adds to its value. I've tasted so many kinds of abalone over the past week, and what I've noticed is that abalone is rather mild tasting, almost like a blank canvas for other ingredients. Meet Aaron, executive chef and abalone enthusiast. With over 20 years of experience in the kitchen, he's going to show me the best way to prepare and cook them. But first, I need to get my hands dirty.
So today we have a dry abalone
Okay.
and farm live abalone.
Oh, this is farm. Wow, that's a huge,
Yes.
big one. This almost looks like the wild abalone.
Similar.
But do you have any here today?
I don't have.
Oh,
Because I find that farm one, right, the meat itself is more clean. So I no need to pay so much of energy to clean it up. The wild abalone, right?
Yeah.
When the thing comes, it's not consistency.
okay.
Sometimes I request this kind of size, but sometimes they come bigger than what I want or smaller what I want. We always saying that we need to have a sustainability.
Sustainability. So
That's why we take from farm.
the texture will be different, right?
I feel that it's similar.
Well, let's get cooking.
Okay, well we have these 2 pieces of abalone and then we have salt here.
So,
Salt go in.
oh, look at the guy. The guy just reacted.
First of all, we have to wash the abalone because this part, right, is considered as a skin.
Okay.
So we have to clean it up. Just brush like this. Because this part, right, a bit tough and also dirty. The one you need to pay more time because of more dirtier. Okay, almost done.
Okay, can I do this one?
Can, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at all this stuff coming out.
So the live abalone, you can see here have a lot of hole. You see?
Yes.
So we have to turn around. We have to go in the other side here. That means
Okay.
turn around, like, and then this one go in. We go to the bottom part.
Yeah, there's a root, right?
Yeah, the root. So similar to open an oyster, but
Okay.
this one more easier. Okay, like this. Okay.
Oh.
The inner part, right? Once break, this part a bit bitter. It will make the
Okay.
abalone bitter, so I have to wash it. You want to try?
Okay, I will try. I will
Yes.
try the other one. Yes. Wow. Oh yeah, I can feel the.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so now these 2 guys are ready.
So when you do at home, right? After you wash, clean everything, and then find a dry cloth,
Okay. Dry it.
dry it first.
so it won't slipping.
Oh, okay.
And then
it won't slip off the chopping board.
Yes,
okay.
The bottom part, you have to make it flat first because when you cut, it will move around. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
Now we slice it.
Okay. Oh, that's very thin slices.
Yes.
So if this is the farmed abalone, will
Yes.
you do the same thing for wild abalone?
Yeah, because this is how we do the live abalone.
So you are choosing to steam this
Yes.
abalone.
Yes.
But I know other chefs have said sometimes stir fry is a good way. Also just as like a quick stir fry.
Yeah, normally stir fry, right, we have to do a light brunch or go in the oil.
Yeah.
But I feel that the original juice from the abalone, it will gone when you blanch it.
Okay.
So I do this way. After steam, right, the juice from abalone, you gotta go to the noodle itself. So when you eat, right, you can feel the full abalone taste inside the dish.
Okay. Is the texture also determined by how you cook it?
Yes, and also how long you cook it. So I will steam 1 minute.
Oh,
1 minute. Overcook, it become very hard. And then the texture when you eat, right, feel like sweet. It doesn't look like abalone.
All right, let's take it out. Whoa.
Wow, good already.
Okay.
Yeah. So today I want to serve you with preserved chopped chili sauce.
Wow.
Done. That's it.
Let's eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just take one here, right in the middle. Not too chewy, but not too soft either. Kind of just in between, which is quite similar to the wild abalone. So essentially, steam is good for the farmed and the wild.
Yes.
What about dried abalone? Should we also steam it?
For dry abalone, a bit different.
So what is the best way to cook dried abalone?
First of all, we have to soak in water. Make sure that the dry abalone go back to the normal size.
Okay.
I soak in water about 5 to 6 days. So this is for 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. This is 4 days.
And this one is?
6 days. This is ready to cook. Yeah, you can touch. It's still very hot.
Yeah, this one 4 days.
Yes.
Yeah, still very hot. Yeah, this is much softer. Okay.
The next step, we take out the bottom part. Bottom part sometimes have a sand inside. So we have to cut here. And then the dirty part, we take it out. All this, we take it out. Then prepare next step.
This is the
tooth.
The tooth?
So normally we take it out because very smelly. Now nice clean. So we have to prepare a lot of ingredients.
Wow, what is this? This is all meat.
So we deep fry the meat. After deep fry the meat, we put layer by layer all the abalone, and then slow cook for 22 hours. This is after 22 hours.
Wow, it's still, yeah, you can see it's still bubbling and sizzling.
Yeah, I can see a lot of meat, right? Everything becomes very soft.
Yeah. So this is the best way to cook dried abalone?
The reason behind is one, the abalone absorb all the meat flavor.
Okay.
And then the longer time cook, right, the flavor content will more.
Oh, more time to absorb the flavors.
Yes.
Okay.
So now we take out all the abalone, and then we reduce the sauce.
You're not gonna eat the meat with?
No.
Oh.
Our focus still abalone.
I see. Wow. Okay.
I want to show you how to cut the correct method. For this, right, you have to cut to small cube, get the sauce and the texture in your mouth.
Okay.
Try.
So this whole thing. Okay, here we go. Wow. A lot of flavor. Chewy and soft. Oh. How much would this plate cost?
This one is 188 Singapore dollar.
188.
Yep.
And then this one, the steamed one we did?
$98 per piece.
Oh, 98 for one piece. Okay.
Yes.
I traveled almost 6,500 kilometers from home to understand the price that goes behind an abalone.
So why is abalone so expensive? Well, I've discovered a range of factors that contribute to its pricing.
But in the end, whether it's $15 or $900, you're not just paying for seafood. You're paying for effort, tradition, and in the case of wild abalone, potentially a disappearing resource.